Hi guys! In today's video, I'm going to be adding too much of things into slime, and I'm also really excited to announce that I've launched channel memberships. Both options have early release of videos as well as so many other things, and they're both under £10, so do go and check that out. I can't wait to chat to all of you. So first up, we're going to be adding too many magnetic balls into slime, and let me tell you, this is so hard to do. I could not believe it when I tried this. On Instagram, they can make all sorts with this. They make like cameras, buildings, you name it, they can do it. And for me, I just found it so hard because they all repel each other. So if they're not repelling each other when you're trying to put it next to each other, they're repelling each other when you put it on top. So building this literally took me hours, and I was just so annoyed, but I really wanted to do it, so I'm so glad I did. But oh my goodness, I'm never doing it again. The effect of the slime was super different to what I expected. In my head, it was going to create this really cool thing where I stretched the magnets out and then the slime looked really clear and glossy in between. But visually, it just wasn't that satisfying. It did feel really nice though. I really like pushing it with my thumb and forefinger and also in the palm of my hand, but stretching it was just not very nice. It got bubbly really quick and you could barely feel the slime really. It just ended up feeling like a putty with a lot of massage balls in it. Next up we have adding too much cracking clay, and this is my favourite ASMR trend at the moment, so I decided that the only part of slime that I was going to add was the cheese and the rest was going to be cracking clay. The way the slime reacted in this really surprised me because I've added nail polish into slime directly before and it's gotten to the point where it just doesn't activate. Maybe it's just when it's like not set, maybe it's different when it's hard, but when it's just liquid and it's added into normal slime, it always melts it down. So that's why I only added a tiny bit here, but it didn't affect it at all. It just ended up looking like a really nice soft clay, and it was just really surprising to me because of how it's reacted in slime before. Also, before I forget, yes, I have changed my clay cracking recipe. I've put it on my channel members right now, so go and check it out. But it's basically just a Sally Hansen nail polish top coat with different types of clay inside. Next up, I'm going to be adding too much melted glue stick, and you might be like, you've added too much glue stick before, and I have, but everyone got annoyed in the comments. They said, you know what, it makes slime towel, you need to try it again, but you need to melt it. So you know what I'm doing here? I'm melting it. And it didn't work. It looks like slime here, it gave me false hope. And then it solidifies, and I thought maybe when I touched it again, it would just get really like, you know, not soggy, but like melt down and maybe mix into the slime. And I did find, as a pro, it did make the slime a lot more soft. And also, weird fact, when I melted it down with the knife, it ended up smelling like kind of like sugar in my opinion. But this is a really bad method. It didn't do anything to my slime apart from ruin it. When I saw these products in the shop, I had to buy them. The colour combinations were so cute, and I actually found out they aren't the same type of air fresheners. So the first ones are car air fresheners, and they kind of feel like something, like a soap with glycerin in it, but they're not soaps. They're like gel. It's a really weird texture. And when I mixed this up, it kind of looked like a fruit salad slash a soap being made. And when I was adding my activator, really quickly activated, it kind of looked like scrambled eggs. It just turned out really nasty. And also the smell wasn't great. But when I added my white glue and then just added my air fresheners in, it did end up really nice. And I just wanted to add a disclaimer, this was slime before. It didn't just magically activate it, but it didn't affect the texture at all. It didn't melt it down, it didn't make it weird like the previous one, and it scented it really nicely. So I really recommend this method if you just have a spare one lying about. Obviously don't go out and buy it, it's a lot cheaper to buy essential oils, but this was a really fun method. The next method's been one I've been really wanting to try out for a while, and this is adding too much clear shampoo into clear slime. And for this, it was for two reasons. I wanted to try out if it could kind of scent my slime without making it cloudy, but also what would happen with the texture. And when I added this in, I really did expect it to just melt down, because shampoo contains a lot of glycerin, because obviously it's kind of soapy. And when I made this, it did look kind of cloudy. And then I realized it's probably because I added so much in, and if I added a tiny bit in, it would have worked just as well. But it ended up feeling kind of like a putty. It was so holdable. It also cleared up so quick as well, and it smelled amazing. This could definitely be used for clear scents, and I decided with this mixture I would do something that I've never tried before that people always ask me to try, and this is adding too many fishbowl bees. And these fishbowl bees are from dopeslimes.com. They gifted it to me, but I just love using their supplies, and this one was really nice. The beads were so good, but because the slime was kind of like putty-like, it didn't stick in, and there was so much fallout. So I decided to move on to the next one, which is adding too much neon pigment into white slime. For this, I used two different types of pigments. The ones in the sachets were really cheap ones off eBay, just to see if they would kind of have the same effect as the more expensive ones. And then the 5 most vibrant ones, the yellow, green, blue, pink, and orange, are from Amazon. And these came in a, I think, pack for like 10 or 12 pounds, so it ends up to be like $15. And they work so much better than the sachets. The sachets kind of came out matte, whereas the other ones didn't change the texture at all. It looked so glossy, and it had the most beautiful colors. And when it was left overnight, I was expecting it to mix a tiny bit, but it actually did the opposite, and it created these really defined lines between the colors, and it was so fun to mix in. The colors definitely held way better than when I add food dye. Definitely was a lot more expensive, but I think for the outcome it was beautiful, and it ended up making a really beautiful color. It looks brown, like a chocolate color, and I didn't have to color this at all to get it to this stage past adding these pigments together. I would say 50% of my life is now spent on Amazon just looking for cool things to add into slime, and when I found this, it was just the best moment of my life. This is like an ombre string that turns into different colors, but it's also stretchy and so vibrant, so I decided to just pick it up, buy it, and it was really interesting to mix in. For in my mind, actually, it was going to be one of those slimes that like when you stretch out, it's going to create a really cool effect. I've had slimes with rubber bands in it. I think it was from Pig's Knot Slime, and she sent me a really cool one. It had a really cool effect that kind of just like dragged really slowly, so I thought I was expecting that with this, but this ended up being like a resistance band. It was so strong. It was pretty, but it tangled really easily, maybe because of how much I added, but yeah, it did poke. It wasn't a good sign though. It wasn't very fun. It didn't have a cool effect. It was just kind of pretty to look at. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Click join to get early access to new videos at least 24 hours before release, as well as a ton of other really cool things on the channel memberships page. I hope to see you next week on my new video, and I hope that you enjoyed today's. See you next week. Bye!